Hi, I'm Larry Heiss. What you're about to see focuses on incorporating recommended Buick standards and customer expectations to make a quality plus service experience. Loyal customers are the lifeblood of your Buick dealership. Your service department is where you make that loyalty or break it to the point that you may never get it back. You make a quality plus service experience when you mix the right ingredients into one successful formula: standards, attention to detail, and unexpected gestures that exceed customer expectations. The end result? A truly exceptional service experience. In the following scenarios, you will see actors portraying dealership personnel and customers. They will demonstrate how to make or break a quality plus service experience. In addition to this video program, it's a good idea to refer to your Quality Plus delivery process and service experience reference guide. It's filled with all the valuable information that will help you make the Quality Plus service experience. Between each of the 5 scenarios, you will have the opportunity to analyze and rate their performance on your program rating forms. Then you will see each of the actors in a given scenario return to explain what took place to make or break the Quality Plus service experience. Here are the areas you will see covered: making the appointment, dropping off the vehicle, repair and waiting time, picking up the vehicle, and most importantly, follow-up. Let's take a closer look at the ingredients or standards that go into the first phase of a Quality Plus service experience: making the appointment.
Good afternoon, Quality Buick. How may I direct your call?
Service department, please.
Certainly. One moment, please.
Oh. Yes, is this the service department?
Yes.
Hi, this is Gil Anderson. Yeah, hi. I'd like to know what time I could bring my car in for service today. The seatbelt retractor isn't working properly.
Best I can do for you, Mr. Anderson, is first thing Tuesday morning. After all, this is a holiday weekend, and we've been swamped with vehicles, especially those that need maintenance for those customers headed out of town.
Yeah, well, see, now that's exactly my point. My family and I have plans to leave town this evening, but my seatbelt concerns me. You know, will it operate properly in the event I need it? You know, I haven't received any notification about a recall. Come to think of it, I don't remember the last service reminder you sent me.
Mr. Anderson, I don't feel qualified to diagnose your problem over the phone. Therefore, I most certainly can't tell you it's okay to drive your vehicle out of town safely without a first-hand look. But I don't have a thing available on my schedule. I'll have to go talk to my service technician and get back to you.
Well, I really hate to inconvenience you, but I'd appreciate it. Thank you. As a customer, Mr. Anderson wants to feel confident his dealership service department welcomes his service business. In order to maintain his vehicle, he expects them to send him service reminders. And if there's an open recall, he wants to be informed of it before he discovers the problem himself. You see, he understands vehicle problems like his happen frequently. That's why he expects it to be easy to get his vehicle in for service. After all, in Mr. Anderson's mind, well, his safety's at risk.
It's right of Mr. Anderson to think Quality Buick provides convenient service. But at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, the service consultant was overwhelmed with paperwork, trying to get back with scheduled customers and tie up loose ends. All she could think about was the weekend. She wasn't very congenial to Mr. Anderson, nor did she offer to take care of the problem at Mr. Anderson's convenience. She didn't go the extra mile. She didn't exceed his expectations by asking him to come right in so one of her technicians could take a quick peek at his seatbelt retractor. She waited for him to tell her he hadn't received a recall notice or service reminder when she could have checked his service history in her computer. She didn't offer him peace of mind in what could be a very minor problem that wouldn't affect his safety in any way. Service appointments should be easy to make, even under holiday weekend circumstances like ours. By being able to offer Mr. Anderson service on an appointment or non-appointment basis, especially for emergency situations like his, the service consultant would have exceeded his expectations and helped shape a quality plus service experience.
Good morning, Mrs. Woodward, and how are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't believe we've met.
I'm Casey McDermott, the new greeter at Quality Buick. My schedule here says that Mrs. Woodward will be arriving at 7:45 a.m. in a 1997 Santa Fe Red Pearl Park Avenue. Let's see, you're scheduled for routine maintenance. Oil, lube, filter, correct?
Well, yes, that's right. It appears it'll be a while, though, by the looks of the line at the service desk. Figures I'd have a board meeting this morning.
Well, actually, the line's moving quite rapidly. If you could assist me with some information here, I'll start pre-invoicing your repair order. That way, Joanne, our service consultant, can focus on your specific vehicle needs and give you a better idea of when it'll be ready. Do you have any other vehicle concerns today?
Well, I think my car is due for a maintenance check, but I'm not sure.
I'll jot that down here so Joanne can look up your vehicle history on the computer. Can I get you a cup of coffee?
Why, yes, I'd love a cup with cream, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'm up. That was quick.
I apologize for any delay.
Oh, there's no problem at all. Casey was very helpful. I took a chance on coming in this morning, even though I have a huge meeting in an hour. And I'll be quite honest, I'm pleasantly surprised. Last time, I waited forever.
Casey has really helped us out with that problem. Your Park Avenue is scheduled for an oil change, and you expressed concern about a maintenance check. And I see by your vehicle history that your Park Avenue is indeed due. I show that a service reminder was mailed to you several weeks ago.
I recall seeing something, but unless it's a bill, I don't pay too much attention to my mail.
This is your repair order. As you can see, we'll be performing a recommended oil change and this vehicle maintenance service. Your car will be ready for pickup at 1 o'clock should you decide to pick it up earlier. This is the estimate for today's services. If there are no other concerns, would you kindly sign here?
Do you take Visa?
Yes.
Oh, that's good, because I didn't bring my checkbook.
I've informed Randy, our sales manager, that you'll be picking up your Park Avenue after service hours. He'll be expecting you. If you have any questions he can't answer when you arrive, please feel free to contact the service department tomorrow morning. Oh, here's Jason with your courtesy vehicle just in time. Thank you, Mrs. Woodward. Have a pleasant day.
As a very busy working professional, Mrs. Woodward doesn't have time to wait in line. When she goes anywhere, she's spending her money and wants to be treated like she's the most important person there. When she brings her vehicle in for service, she wants the service write-up to be easy and convenient. By having a greeter at the service lane, Quality Buick was able to meet and exceed that customer expectation. By the time Mrs. Woodward reached Joanne, the service consultant, she was pleasantly surprised at Joanne's friendly, competent demeanor.
Mrs. Woodward wasn't happy with her latest service experience, but Quality Buick implemented measures to ensure customer satisfaction by hiring a greeter to take care of some of the initial write-up and provide hospitality.
Mrs. Woodward made arrangements with the dealership to pick up her Park Avenue after normal service department hours. Joanne was quick to point out that the sales manager had already been informed of Mrs. Woodward's after-hours pickup. Mrs. Woodward had made arrangements for alternate transportation when scheduling her service appointment. Joanne carefully pointed out that the customer's courtesy vehicle was being brought up. Upon reviewing Casey's notes, Joanne learned Mrs. Woodward's Park Avenue was probably in need of recommended maintenance. She referenced the vehicle history, listened to her customer, and asked for pertinent information. In attempting to make sure Mrs. Woodward's Park Avenue was serviced right the first time, Joanne clearly describes the repair order, reinforces the services to be performed, quotes a reasonable completion time, and points out serviced cost estimates. And Joanne doesn't forget to ask her customer for her approval. Mrs. Woodward is relieved that they accept Visa, so that she won't have to make an additional trip home to retrieve her checkbook.
Oh boy, it's already 10:30. Customer's expecting his car in an hour. I still got to get this clock reset, reprogram the radio, perform a visual inspection, and a test drive. Okay, mental checklist. Car's been washed and vacuumed. Got the car wash coupons with the paperwork. Leave the paper mat on the floor until after the test drive. Wouldn't want to get any grease on that carpet. Shoot, it's 10:45. Should I skip the test drive? Oh, no, can't do that. Joanne, there's a problem with the Goodwin car. I need a part we don't have. Parts found it down the street. Jason's on the way as we speak. I should have it within the hour and replaced by about 1:30.
Okay. Do you think that will fix the problem? This is the second time Mr. Goodwin's been back for the same service.
Positive. Your write-up was more detailed this time. That, along with a test drive, told me something I missed before. I've got it under control.
Mr. Goodwin, our service technician got to the root of your car's problem. It's being fixed properly. However, I have to apologize for a slight delay. The part your vehicle needs wasn't in stock. Now, we've located one at another dealership, and it's on its way back here as we speak.
I have a 12:30 doctor's appointment. Do you think it'll be ready by then?
My service technician has promised me it will be ready by 1:30. Can I offer you our courtesy transportation to avoid any inconvenience?
Well, as long as my car is fixed right and it's ready when I get back here, I don't have any problem with that.
Right this way, Mr. Goodwin.
Mr. Goodwin expected the dealership to treat his car with care while it was being serviced. When he dropped his car off for service the first time, he expected it to be fixed right. It was an inconvenience to return a second time. If his car were to be delayed, he anticipated the service consultant would notify him of a delay long before the promised completion time, not right when he'd mentally prepared to pick up his vehicle. And he expected the dealership to stock the necessary parts to fix the problem.
The service technician was very conscientious about treating the car with care. Because he had to disconnect the battery for the repair, he made sure to reset the clock and reprogram the radio stations he noted before disconnecting the battery. He didn't want to remove the paper covering the floor mat until it was ready for the customer. Customers want their vehicles to be fixed right the first time. When that doesn't happen, the customer may never return for service. Comebacks even affect showroom traffic and new car sales. In order to maintain the same consistency in repair service, it's imperative that shop manual procedures be followed with every repair or maintenance check. The service technician was about to skip the test ride, but his conscience got the best of him, and it's good that it did. It's always important to inspect the vehicle to make sure no other parts were disrupted during the repair. Check the paint finish, and whenever possible, perform a test drive with the customer if circumstances dictate.
On a daily basis, the dealership should be tracking a detailed comeback record. The service consultant can check for comebacks by date and type of repair. Had the service consultant informed the technician Mr. Goodwin's vehicle was a comeback, the technician may have reviewed the repair order in more detail and anticipated the need for the unavailable part, notifying his parts manager much sooner and getting the vehicle repaired and ready for pickup when promised. At no time did the service consultant check with the technician on the progress of the vehicle. Had she done so, she may have been able to inform the customer of a delay much earlier than the promised completion time. When Joanne knew a delay was inevitable, even though all the repair work would be completed in that visit, she made sure to offer Mr. Goodwin courtesy transportation to his appointment and back in time to pick up his car.
Thank you, Mr. Summerfield, for your understanding. I'm glad I could help you. Hey, we've all run down the battery before. Good luck. Bye-bye. Sorry to keep you waiting. How can I help you?
I'm Monica Sanders, here to pick up my 97 Regal. Where's the cashier's office?
Well, if you have a moment, allow me to go over your repair order and explain the charges, Mrs. Sanders.
Was there a major repair I didn't know about? How much more did it cost, and why didn't someone call me?
Rest assured, there was no additional work performed on your Regal other than what you specified and approved. All the parts were new and GM approved. My repair estimate was correct, as you can see right here. Now, had our service technician noticed any problem you didn't describe to me and previously approved, you would have been notified prior to any work being performed. That's our policy.
Oh, pardon me. It's just that, oh, never mind.
That not everyone works that way. I know. It's not unfortunate, but we want you to be completely satisfied with your service experience. Now, let me show you where to find the cashier. Right this way, please. Nancy, this is Mrs. Sanders. Her Regal is ready. I've already explained the repairs to her. Well, you're all set. Thank you for allowing us to repair your Regal. Jason, our porter, is bringing the vehicle up to the door. It should just be a minute. Please give me a call if you have any questions after you leave.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that.
Here's the stamped copy of your invoice, several car wash coupons, and a Godiva chocolate bar. Was everything to your satisfaction, Mrs. Sanders?
Yes, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Well, thank you for choosing Quality Buick for your service needs. I can see Jason right out front with your Regal.
Thank you, Jason. Gee, the car's already cool. I thought I'd get into an oven. Peace and quiet. No screaming boss, no barking dog. I think I'll be a new person by the time I get home.
Have a nice evening, Mrs. Sanders.
Thank you, Jason. When Monica arrived at Quality Buick, she expected to wander through the maze until she located the cashier's office. She expected to pay her bill, be a little confused about the repair order, and find herself calling the service department the next day for an explanation. Most customers expect the vehicle work to be performed and the associated charges to be explained to them. And many times they find that the person they are face to face with in this instance is the cashier. Every customer should expect their vehicle pickup to be handled smoothly as Monica's was actually handled by the service personnel at Quality Buick.
As a service consultant, it's Mike's job to offer customers the opportunity to review the work performed on their vehicles and explain the associated charges, or call the customer and explain these items ahead of time if that customer is picking up his or her vehicle after hours. Mrs. Sanders' paperwork was completed prior to her scheduled pickup time after work. When she arrived, she didn't have to wait for Mike to scramble through a stack or enter last-minute information. He was prepared, making a point to show Mrs. Sanders what work was performed and that the associated costs were exactly what he quoted her earlier that day. To make his customer feel even more confident about her repairs, Mike stressed that all the parts used in the repair were new and manufacturer approved. Then, instead of just directing Mrs. Sanders to the cashier, Mike exceeded her expectations by stepping away from the service desk and personally escorting her to Nancy. After extending a warm handshake, Mike explained that Jason was in the process of pulling her Regal up front for her convenience. Now, Jason made a point to turn the air conditioning on so the vehicle would be comfortable before Mrs. Sanders got in. He also turned the radio off and made sure the service floor mats were removed.
In addition to Mike being available to greet his customer and offer his assistance, Nancy also asked Mrs. Sanders if she was satisfied with the service, thanked her for choosing Quality Buick, and gave her car wash coupons and a chocolate bar in appreciation for her patronage. All unexpected gestures that made the service experience highly memorable.
Good morning, Mrs. Woodward. This is Joanne at Quality Buick. I'm calling to follow up with you on the routine maintenance we performed on your Park Avenue yesterday. Do you have a moment?
Well, yeah, I just got out of a meeting. What can I do for you?
How satisfied are you that all the service items you requested were properly taken care of during yesterday's service visit? Would you say you are completely satisfied, very satisfied, satisfied, somewhat satisfied, or not at all satisfied?
Completely satisfied, especially when you looked up my car's history and knew it was indeed time for a service interval.
Well, how satisfied were you with my performance? And please, don't hesitate to be honest.
I'm certainly not a person who candy coats anything. I was completely satisfied, particularly when I didn't have to wait very long.
Well, based on this service visit overall, how satisfied are you with Quality Buick?
Completely satisfied. I have to commend the dealership for hiring a service lane greeter like Casey to help expedite your vehicle drop-off process. He got my day started on the right foot.
One last question, if you don't mind. Would you recommend Quality Buick to your acquaintances for their service needs?
Absolutely. Randy made my after-hours pickup a breeze, and Tony, the service technician who worked on my Park Avenue, even left his business card on my console. I was impressed when I read what it said. I personally worked on your vehicle today. I wanted to make sure you were completely satisfied with my work. If not, please call this number and let the dealership know that I'm the individual who worked on your car. I've already mentioned this to several of my associates. Great marketing approach. I'll definitely be back. Oh, and by the way, my husband's in the market for a new vehicle. This definitely made his decision to see Tyler, the guy who sold me my Park Avenue, easy. He's coming in to look at a Riviera tomorrow.
We appreciate your business, Mrs. Woodward. If there's anything else we can do for you, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you again for allowing Quality Buick to service your vehicle.
Just like Mrs. Woodward would expect a waiter to return to check on whether or not her meal was satisfactory when she was dining out, she also expects her dealership to follow up on her vehicle service within a few days, in case she experiences any problems.
One day after Mrs. Woodward brought her Park Avenue in for service, Joanne made a point to contact her customer to make sure she was completely satisfied with her service experience. As a general rule, service customers should be contacted within 3 business days of their vehicle pickup. Joanne showed Mrs. Woodward she was concerned about her customers' satisfaction. Had there been a problem, Joanne would have been able to address it or direct it to her service manager almost immediately. Buick research shows that a consistent follow-up call made after service work is performed directly affects comebacks and customer satisfaction. When customers are contacted, the number of comebacks is reduced by over 24%.
Customers have told Buick time and time again that what separates a truly exceptional service experience from a merely satisfactory one are the extras the dealership puts into it. Customers shouldn't feel like you're doing them a favor by servicing their vehicle. They should feel like you made a quality plus service experience just for them. Go the extra mile. Share ideas with coworkers on how you can improve upon customer service. And watch for those perfect moments when you can make a customer service experience highly memorable and truly exceptional. After all, if you treat your customers as you would like to be treated, then they will show you the same courtesy.